我が名は人造人間17号。どちらが強いか決着をつけよう。
そして我が名は人造人間18号。第7宇宙の女神。
Alright, guys, we are back for another Dokkan battle video. So, the androids. I have found myself to really not be that big of a fan of this character, right? I think that just their design overall is just not good. They have, like, I'll say this. I would rather this character, we have gotten them, and right now I consider this character a failure, 100%. But, like, this is more of, like, an acceptable failure to me compared to, like, the Super 17 character, because I like what we're doing here, right? The 2-turn support with the unit super attack, the rainbow orb changing, the huge support, the scouter. This character is actually doing meaningful things, right? Not just, oh my god, damage, 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 or oh, tank, 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 tank with big defense, right? Like, they're doing different things, which I think is really nice. But there's so many flaws and holes all over this character, right? Number one, we're talking about an android character. You will see this with all of these android characters. This Link right here is really strong. 2 key, 20% defense. And then we can compare, add in, shocking speed with some defense. Twin Terrors gets 5% defense. Infinite Energy gets 5% defense. And, with some of these android characters like this, it's kind of like a villain thing where, if you run Turles without a lot of these big links up, you're seeing half the character. It's the same thing with a lot of these android characters. The Gammas, Super 17, 17 and 18. These characters want to be run with other android characters to maximize their links. This is a character that gets a lot of stats from their links, but then that leads us to a huge issue with how they chose to make this character, which is that rat bastard back here. This guy tanks this card right now. Now, I do think that this character could be Int Majin Vegeta of, 2023. Int Majin Vegeta last year came out for Saiyan Day with this Trunks restriction, and there was literally 0 Trunkses in the game who were even okay. They were all horrible, right? But then we get LR Vegeta and Trunks, best unit in the game, and Majin Vegeta's a perfect partner with them, synergizes perfectly with them. It was just beautiful, right? I think that we very easily get the same thing with this character. So while I feel like I'm being fair by crushing this character right now, I'm also saying I do expect them to rise up in a couple of months, right? Because all they need is a Goku, right? The Goku for their passive scouter and for the unit super attack, the restriction is literally just Goku, adult Goku, that's it. We're gonna get more adult Gokus. Like, that's not gonna be an issue. All right, because it's very easy to just, compare it to, like, Kale or one of these characters where it's like, oh, if they just get this, and then it never comes. This character, at least, something is coming 100% at minimum, because if we go to Universal Survival Saga, we have 3 LR Gokus upcoming, who, one of the 3 are definitely getting their EZA by the time the anniversary is done. This guy, his EZA is upcoming. This guy, I mean, could be the best EZA ever. I think there's a chance that we could see that from him. Then, this character right here, this is another DOKKANFEST LR. DOKKANFEST LR EZAs are typically very, very strong. Maybe Gohan and Goten came out at a very bad time and they ended up getting countered by the Omega fight and then the Fusion Zamasu fight, right? But, like, the DOKKANFEST LR EZAs typically are pretty strong. And then this guy as well, a 70% chance to dodge character. At the very minimum, one of those 3 EZAs should hit, which should significantly make these androids better, right? But, you do have to understand that there's a huge difference in performance with this character when we're next to this guy right here, who can activate all the android links when, we're not next to them. I think that right now, this character, like, just to quickly run down a lot of the flaws I have with this character. Number one, their rainbow orb changing is only for the first 4 turns, which is ridiculous. Compare that to Bulma, who has, you know, permanent rainbow orb changing. Path to Power Kid Goku, permanent rainbow orb changing. It's just bad that, you know, they only have 4 turns of rainbow orb changing. I already have encountered significant issues with this, taking them into content. Most of the content right now are these very quick, you know, Dismal Future type red zone fights, but the Omega fight does exist. And the Omega fight, I would say, is the second hardest fight. The Androids team is really bad, and it struggles heavily in that Omega fight because, you know, this team, besides this guy right here, actually does no damage. Now, the Androids not doing damage, that does not make me go, oh, they're so bad, they don't do damage. Oh, whatever will we do? Like, I'll survive. I'll take the support and everything they're doing over damage, but, I mean, again, I think Path to Power Kid Goku is the example for us to use here, because he is a similar character. Path to Power Kid Goku, he gets the crit from Rainbow Orbs, right? But to be fair, the androids, they get a crit, they get 50% chance to crit from 7 key spheres, right? So not the biggest deal, right? Like they both get crit. But Path to Power Kid Goku, I mean, he gets the additional, what is it, with 5 orbs? 5 orbs, and Path to Power Kid Goku gets an additional with a 50% chance to super. The androids don't have that. The thing with damage is, it's like, think of Rose, right? Rose is a real damage character, LREZA Rose, where, you know, he's gonna drop a 20 million, and then he gets a guaranteed additional super, and he's doing like another 10 or 12. Like, if you're talking, oh, super attack dodge, thank you. If we're talking really strong damage characters, at this point, it's characters that are doing several attacks, and they have crits or super effective, and they're just going. They're attacking. That is big damage characters, right? You're not just, oh, you know, doing like an 8 million damage attack with a 50% chance to crit, and we're like, oh, that's good damage. So it's like, their damage is not great. They have this Goku condition. I mean, again, take a look at, okay, so in order for them to be at full power, right, we see the Scouter is up because Goku is on rotation. We're going to get the 2-turn support because Goku is on rotation. But look at the linking with Goku, right? Now take a look what happens when we link them with 17. Look at this, right? That is a problem. That they structured this character in which it's like a little difficult to sort of maximize like their links and stuff like that. Like a rotation that I think would kick ass would be Gamma 1 in slot 1, and then the androids in slot 2. But again, it's like you're gonna need like these Gokus floating around. Right now, these Gokus are horrible. It's just very problematic. The other thing too is that they don't really have tremendously strong 200% teams that we can run them on at the moment. The 200% teams they have are their own, STR Super 17, and Gamma 2. Now, the problem with STR Super 17 and Gamma 2 is Goku is not there. Goku is not there. I mean, I guess Gamma 2 does lead movie heroes, right? So, like, we could, I don't know, Tech LR Carnival Goku or the LR Gods or something like that, sure. But you guys get the point, right? Like, by structuring this unit and tying them to Goku, you add the worst part of a character like, I don't know, Super Trunks, right? Where it's like, oh, let's just run 3 other Android/Cell Saga units, this kind of like very middling category. I mean, for the androids, Goku's not the worst restriction ever, but it's not a character that synergizes well with them. So we're left running a broken team, a team that's not synergizing super well. Like, look at this. Majunior is very strong, but I mean, this is certainly not his greatest spot, right? This rotation itself, 17 plus 17, 18 is very strong. 17 is dramatically stronger with 17 and 18 around. You know, now against the big bosses, if you go into the turn above 77% HP, he is not like a god of defense. But if you're below 77% HP and you have 17 and 18 around, MVP 17, he will get the job done for sure. All right, so let's let's just keep getting some of these rotations. So, again, a lot of the issues I have, their defense is weak, their offense is weak, their restriction, Goku, is actually quite problematic right now. Their team is weak. It's flaws everywhere, unfortunately. And again, as I mentioned before, their defense, they get 35% damage reduction after they super. It's just not enough. It's not enough. I mean, I feel like defensively, they're probably similar to Path to Power Kid Goku, but he's a year old, right? Like, I in my head, I'm not sure between them and Path to Power Kid Goku. And should that really be the case, should in my head I be wondering, like, damn, Path to Power Kid Goku or them? Like, that sucks. I don't know. I mean, one good thing is that the tournament participants category, that's a category to me that very easily will get stronger. There's so many tournaments, plus the Cell games, plus the BoJack movie, plus the PyCon fights. Like, I mean, I could see tournament participants continually get very, very strong, but I don't know, man. I actually just find myself pretty disappointed with this character. I was going into this, you guys go back, I was very optimistic. I was like, yeah, I like what we're seeing, but it's just their actual strength is what's lacking. What if I compared them? This might seem weird to some of y'all, but what if I compared them to this character right here? Physical Angel Golden Frieza. I feel like Physical Angel Golden Frieza brings a lot to the table. He dodges, he has damage reduction, he has stun, he has seal, he has defensive stacking. Like, this guy does everything, but his stats are weak. I mean, well, because he's a 2020 character, but his attack stats are pitiful, his defensive stats are pitiful, right? Like, he's just lacking in stats at this point, but he does everything. The androids, you could not trick me into believing that this is the newest DOKKANFEST, man. Like, their damage and their defense, it's all very low. It's like I feel like I could live with a lot of the flaws we're talking about if when they super attacked, they got 70% damage reduction, so you double it. Right now, they get 35% damage reduction when they super. If that went up to 70, I would be much more on board with this character, because that would make them really strong defensively, right? And then that would put them, nullify it, bam, I love that. That would put them in a spot where I could envision them being much stronger just as a floating support. As of right now, I mean, I worry about them as a floating support potentially in the future on some of these teams. Too often, people can't really, I think, understand the info that is either presented to them when they're playing themselves, or reading it on paper, or seeing it in other people's gameplay. But, like, the androids, there is a huge difference in what we will see from these androids when they're next to 17, and we have all those links up, and his support is up, and we have the 2-turn support from last turn, right? All this shit is up. It's a huge difference between them and when we're just typically going to be using them. All right, so they're at 382. See, like, this is really good. So we'll hit this. Wabam. Thank you. What's the last thing we don't have active? It's Innocence. Yeah, they have Innocence. I think some Tournament of Power Android 18s, does she have Innocence sometimes? Let me double check. We're looking for Tournament of Power Android 18 here. She does not, apparently. No, she does. There she is. Wait, but it's only... Yeah, okay. Yeah, so some Tournament of Power Android 18s do have Innocence. But apparently the newest Android 18 doesn't. The EGL one doesn't have Innocence. Okay. That's kind of a... I feel like for the most part, that's going to end up just being a dead link on them, unfortunately. Not the biggest deal ever. Because, again, I mean, these links, Android Assault, Twin Terrors, Infinite Energy, Shocking Speed, Tournament of Power, Innocence, and then Fierce Battle. Like, all these links together, sure. Looking pretty good. So I could sort of get over Innocence, but yeah, man, I don't know. I mean, we're at 400k defense right here. This is definitely pretty good. I mean, remember when they super attack, they get what? 50% attack and defense on their super attack. Then, remember, with Goku on rotation, we're going to get a massive buff right here. Plus, the 35% attack and defense for 2 turns, right? So it's like now on this rotation, like, yeah, they're going to be pretty tanky. This is with all their links up. This is with MVP 17 next to them, right? This is like perfect conditions. The thing is, nearly all characters these days are incredible in perfect conditions. So like if I would say, okay, perfect, this is a perfect condition for them. Perfect condition for future Gohan is like, you know, turn 5 after he's like, or yeah, like the first turn of his domain after he super attacks, no boss can hurt him, right? Where he's got the huge stamina introduction, built up defense, all that. Sword of Hope Trunks, when his first turn of his standby up, yeah, no boss is killing him. AGL Vegito Blue, what happens when he does his active skill, right? No boss can touch him. Every good character in their best situation is dominant. Too often, people are using a character's best situation to evaluate when it's more so you want to try and hit the happy middle, right? You don't want to evaluate characters by what they're doing in their dog shit situation, but you also don't want to evaluate them what they're doing in their perfect situation. You want to try and get in the middle. That's why also, when I evaluate these characters, it's not just, oh, they suck for Fusion Zamasu, so they suck, right? I'm not with that, right? That's why I still like the 5th anniversary Blue Fusions, even though they suck versus Omega and, you know, Fusion Zamasu, right? Like, it's like, a character doesn't need to be good for those fights to be good, but certainly the androids, I feel a little bit more harshly for them because of the fact that they are the brand new DOKKANFEST and they really should be countering those fights. But I think you want to try and take, like, you know, again, not just the characters, you know, best or worst, but try and get, like, a middle. And it's not just how they do in this one fight versus this other fight versus not this other fight, but, you know, try and get, like, kind of like a happy, all of it. You guys get what I'm saying. Alright, this is a 1 million damage super attack boss. Actually, Goku's at 800k right here. He lives. I was going to put Blue Kaioken in there, but he lives for sure. Alright, let's hit this. Can we get the 7 orbs with them? No. Okay. Notice, by the way, I want to call everyone's attention right here. Here we go. Rainbow Orb changing is gone. Now, in a lot of the Dismal Future fights, this might not be the worst. Well, right now it will, because their team does no damage. So you are going to encounter this every single fight, right? It's like if we're running Future, like, yeah, we're finishing these fights off, typically, I am, before the boss. But a lot of times I'm finishing these Dismal Future Red Zone fights before I get Future Gohan's domain out, before Vegito Blue transforms, like before a lot of that shit happens, right? Alright, so Goku will take damage here, but he's not going to die. He guarded. Okay, he's guarded. Sure. Also, keep in mind, this guy, too, by the way, is not, like, I mean, he's a must, like, we have to run, you have to run this guy, but he is not that crazy in here, or on this team, right? Because the only real revive, is LR Roshi, which I have gotten away with, but I mean, it's iffy. Roshi is taking 600k per normal, right? It's iffy. Or Goku himself doing his own standby, which is really tough because it's like turn 6, but it's not turn 6, it's his 6th turn, right? Those are just dreadful. So, all right, I feel like from here we have pretty much seen everything we need to see from the androids. Okay, we don't have the stuff up. Again, 7 orbs, like, once you start getting deeper in this fight, 7 orbs is going to become an issue. We very well could die right here. This could be death. So let's see. 7, he's only 1 million damage. Nah, 17's going to get the super attack first. He'll be okay. Yeah, now I don't know. I'm going to actually, I'm recording this video, and then I'm going to sit down and kind of make my top 10 DOKKANFEST TUR list. I don't know what it's going to look like at the moment. I think that this character could still be like 5 or 6 or 7, probably in that range. I think I would put them above Super Trunks. I would put them above Turles, you know, STR Super 17. But, like, I don't know, like, Yamcha, Gamma 1, and Path to Power Kid Goku, like, I'm like, I don't know, man, like, I gotta sit down and think about it a little bit more on, like, do I like this character over Yamcha? Yamcha is a dodge or die character. Gamma 1, I gotta put in front of them. Right now, Gamma 1 is in front of these androids, for sure. I have to. Gamma 1 is just too good. he's still good. And Gamma 1 does not need Path Gamma 2 either. Okay, let me just get a little bit more footage. There's one last thing I want to do in this video before we finish up. We have not done their active skill. Now, their active skill is 100% trash, fodder, loser, one of the worst active skills in the game. I think it's just dreadfully terrible, awful, abysmal. I don't know what they were thinking, right? Like, that's what I say with their active skill. So we could do their active skill. Okay, here's the condition for their active skill. You ready? Turn 5 below 78% HP. And you must be thinking, oh, damn, okay. So, I mean, they're putting in work with that active, huh? Like, you know, LR Super Boo. They're you know, 40% heal, attack break, doing all types of stuff. Nope. They change tech orbs into int orbs, and that's all they do. I have no idea what in the hell they were thinking with that. Dude, they run out of rainbow orb changing, and then they give you an HP conditional type orb changing active. It's absurd. It's ridiculous. I don't understand. I think that they're active. You could also use it up to 8 times, by the way, which to me, I feel like is a slap in the face because it's like turn 5 is tough. And it's like, bro, you're not using this active skill even 3 times very often. Oh. We do this right here. Let me guess 7. This is perfect. Yeah, all right, let's see. So this cell, I believe he does like 1.2 million. This had better be Juice God. They should, this is probably a double digits actually. Okay, let's do this right here. And then we'll cut and I gotta get the active skill animation in the video, obviously. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what this character, I mean, they're certainly top 10. This is a character that's going to get a lot better, right? Like, I would say the chances are in 4 months, you know, I'm going to put them higher on my tier list than they are right now. But, I mean, yeah, it's just a character that just is not made strong enough. By the way, they could have given us a good banner unit, which would have helped this unit a lot, too. That really would have been something that could have happened. Them with, like, a really strong Goku banner unit, or like you know, maybe like an Android 18 busted banner unit. So that's really good tanking right there. Remember, this cell does real damage. This guy's a real damaging boss, right? Like he's actually he does damage. So that is certainly good tanking. I mean, I like that the androids don't really build up a ton, right? Like it's just, you know, get your orbs and, you know, have a Goku on rotation and you're good. That is certainly good since so much of the game is, you know, building up. But yeah, okay. All right, so let's just, I'll come back once we can get their active in, and we'll finish up. All right, guys, so we have a situation where we can get the active skill. One thing I'd even say with the androids is, unfortunately, a lot of their animations are really not that impressive. I do really like the voice acting, though. 17 and 18, in the tournament, they were very fun, so I do enjoy that. So let's pop this. Again, all this is going to do... See that top left tech orb all the way up top right there? All this is going to do is it's going to change that one orb into int.
俺たち永久エネルギー式人造人間の利点を生かすんだ。絶対疲れない。これってかなり有利だよな。
そうだったね。ガンガン飛ばしていくよ。
Alright, well, yep, there we go. There is 17 and 18. Let me know what you guys think about them. Overall, I would say that they are pretty disappointing at the moment. I mean, I could live with a lot of their flaws, I think, if maybe they just had higher defense and higher damage, or even just higher defense, right? If does... there is so many issues, right? Their team is weak, their defense is weak, their damage is weak. They're flawed heavily needing a Goku, and they're an android character, but... if some of these were just a little bit different, they would certainly be a lot better. I definitely like, you know, a lot of the abilities they have. The other thing I would say, too, is the Scouter is, like, not as good as people think, I would argue. Because I still see people saying it's the strongest ability in the game, and it's not. With how hard a lot of these fights are, and how teams typically are structured, a lot of the time... I don't know that even seeing where the super attack is, it doesn't feel like it does that much. There certainly would be times where it helps out a lot, but it's not the craziest. I mean, I don't know. It did feel like it was helpful when I took Bardock into, what was it? It was the Red Zone Zamasu fight, or was it Red Zone Goku Black? Took Bardock into one of those, and it felt like it was helpful, but it's definitely not the strongest ability in the game. I do wonder if the androids' kind of like wonkiness and flaws, and just a lot of the weirdness that they have, is because Dokkan is valuing the Scouter very highly. So let me know what you guys think of 17 and 18. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch y'all next time.